Okay. I know, this is weird. I'm sitting on my kitchen counter. I don't think I've ever done this. I mean, I don't know, possibly, no, not when I was a kid, because we lived in an apartment in New York City, and um, we didn't have much counter space at all. Well, anyway, so I've been thinking about sitting up on the counter here for a while, and it's kind of slippery, and I was afraid if I tried too hard to jump up here on my own that, I might slide off awkwardly and hurt myself. So I got the little step stool and got up here. I like it. Does this seem ridiculous? Well, you know what? I've been wanting to do this for a while. I'm at home. My daughter had said, mentioned a number of times that I'd probably feel better if I cleaned my counter off. So I did clean most of it off. And yeah, so it was perfect. I had a place to sit. I tell you one thing. In the apartment I lived in before this, I was on the second floor, and I could just look out my kitchen window and see life happening. And here, because I'm up higher, I just have more of a view of what's going on outside, which is nothing, but it's okay. It's a different viewpoint, and being way up here like this. Kitchen looks different. I see I need to clean the top of the fridge. Yeah, this is the literal example of point of view. When I was down, well, here, let me go get down here. So when I'm down here, well, you can see where my butt is, all right? So it's right there, okay? So maybe I'm not that much higher up here. But sometimes moving just a little bit makes a difference. I mean, that's just a few inches, from my butt being here to being up here. But I'm seeing everything in a totally new light. And I guess a lot of this time of sort of, semi-isolation, I've spent thinking about how I think. Point of view is one of those really important things. I've had a tendency to think about why do I think this way and she thinks that way? Or why in this situation would I say this but he would say that? And I try to figure out my motivations for things. Now look, granted, I am retired, so I live alone, okay? So I don't have screaming kids running around, or teenagers that are bored out of their minds, or a spouse, to be here and either be supportive and loving, or possibly irritating because I'm not used to him being around that much. So, I'm here by myself. So I can have a lot of time to think anytime if I want. But just like everybody else, I tend to busy myself up with things to do. I've always been the sort of person who likes to have projects, likes to have small accomplishments. I like doing crossword puzzles because they give me that sense of small accomplishments, over and over. And I usually get crossword puzzles in books full of crossword puzzles, and I will go back every once in a while and look through which puzzle has blank spaces, because I realize that at different times, different things occur to me. Like sometimes like the word will just jump out at me. Oh, this is the one that should go here. Yeah. How could I not have thought of that before? I know this. But different times, different things going on, different surroundings, just the difference of the passage of time, and even little things that have been going on in your life and how you've been feeling and what you've been eating, they all affect how you think. So I guess, what I was going to say about all this is that if you're having difficulty with this time of life, for example, if you are alone, and it's kind of making you stir crazy, and I know some people, like, they're not even allowed to leave their apartments, or if they could, if they are allowed to leave, there's nowhere to go. Maybe they're not allowed to leave their building, or their neighborhood is not a place where it's good to walk. I don't know what your situation is, but the point is, it's the same thing. What if you're not alone? What if you wish you were alone because you have so many people around you? It's making you nuts already. So find a way to have a different point of view. Think of doing something differently. This morning I was thinking of putting on a really pretty sparkly party dress. But actually I just looked at it in the closet and I admired it and I thought, nah, I'm going to put on some crazy leggings. And I've been wearing crazy leggings most days. And I put them on and I thought, you know what? It's a little chilly out. I love wearing jeans. I'm going to put on my jeans and a light sort of sweater top. And just be comfortable today. But if you want, you can do something different. Why? Because it'll help change your mindset. Just one last thing. I am the sort of person who, let's say I'm sitting in my recliner and I'm not feeling happy, content, satisfied with how things are going. I want to feel differently. Well, what I want to do, and some of you won't get this, and that's okay because, this is just me. So, I want to be able to, while I'm sitting there, feel different. I want to have my feelings change. But here is the fact, and I know this. Usually, to have a change in kind of the emotional part of your brain, which is how you're feeling, you need to change something very often physically, okay? Your breathing, your facial expression, your body position. Actually, usually getting up, going into a different room, stepping outside, somehow changing your environment. It sort of wakes up your brain, and then you can take yourself to a different place in your feelings, okay? So I guess what I'm saying to you is, even if you're stuck in the situation that you are seeing yourself stuck in, you don't have to be stuck, because mentally you can change your viewpoint, okay? So for me, I'm sitting on the kitchen counter this morning. I don't have any kids that I have to set examples for. Don't you sit on that kitchen counter. We use that to prepare food. Get off of that. You're going to scuff up the cabinets with your shoes. I can do whatever I want, okay? And I'm wearing flip-flops, no scuffing. I'm not banging my feet like kids do. Although this does remind me of when I was a kid and I would sit on this sort of brick and cement thing outside the apartment house and I would just bang my sneakers against it. I won't do that now, but it brings back memories. Just the sitting position and my legs hanging brings back those memories, and sitting up high. So you really do have more to work with than what you think. Give it a little more thought, okay? Try what I'm saying. Just, a change in position, step outside, even just stop and take a few deep breaths. And that will help you to change your viewpoint. Or go sit on the kitchen counter, you know? If you have kids, tell them, Mom's just trying something crazy. Come on up here and sit with me. Have a cuddle on the kitchen counter. God bless.